Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, I guess a lot of you folks are probably glad to see what I've got behind me here again. Some of you have probably saw it the first time when we took a first look at it, and we've brought it back into the shop and we're going to freshen it up. I don't know how in depth we're going to go, but we are going to get we're going to tear it down to the frame. We'll paint the frame. All this stuff I can do when summer gets here, and it's on the way. So I can go ahead and get started tearing it down, and we'll look at a lot of the parts and see what we need to do. And I've already done that to an extent, and I'll go ahead and take you around and let you look at the bike again, kind of talk about what we need to do, and show you some of the stuff I've already accumulated for it. That I knew when I got it that I was going to have to replace or change on it. So anyhow, let me get you handheld here and we'll take a look around it. Okay, let's just start up here at the front. It was missing the headlight bucket. I think I've got the right one. You'll notice a lot of rust on the fork tubes. I think I've had this probably I'm going to say 6 or 7 years now. And right after I got it, I noticed this, so I was able to pick up a set of forks on eBay, and it's a really nice set. At least it doesn't have the rust on them. So I may have to straighten them. I don't know what shape they're in yet. I haven't even looked at them other than, yeah, they're the right ones. So we'll be changing the forks out, or at least the fork tubes. The spokes are rusted up. We'll either plate them or replace them. I'm not sure on the rims. This one doesn't look too bad. It might clean up. The back one I think is going to need replacing. The gauges up here, see how rough they are? Somebody welded around them, and that you got all the weld splatter onto the plastic or glass, whatever that is. So I think I found new ones, or I think one of them's new, the other one is a good used one. And just, you see the hardware and whatnot here. Switches here, it's got a key. A lot of wiring gremlins, I'm sure. So we know we've got to do that. The paint's not too bad, but it does have a dent back here. And I think I've already got a set of decals. So we'll probably straighten out the tank, repaint it, and all the other stuff. I think what I settled on was Ford Grabber Orange. I think it's pretty close. This bike even still has a dealer sticker on it. Lee and Ron Cycle Center, Kawasaki, Anaconda, Montana. This is a 71, I believe. And if you remember, if you watched my channel for a while, we had some carburetor issues. And really it stems from the adapter that the carburetor slides onto just being extremely worn. I was able to pick up a new one, so we'll be able to fix that. And I'm not sure, the parts are really hard to find for these as far as pistons and stuff. So I don't know what we're going to do there. I'm sure that I'll go ahead and tear it down and we'll take a look at it. But you know, I had a couple leaks on the oil tank, and I was able to fix those just by soldering. I'll probably take another look at them after I get it all tore down. We'll clean out the tank. The springs, these I've already had re-chromed. They were in really bad shape, and I just stuck everything back together. And the rack, I also had re-chromed at the same time. And if you look here, you know, we've got a lot of wiring gremlins underneath the seat here. Still got an old battery in there. So I'm not sure what we're going to run into here. That's what this is all about, is sorting all this stuff out and fixing what we can. And we've still got a pouch under here, and I see a rider's. Oh, look at there. There's even a handbook. How about that? You don't usually find that. And taillight was missing. I believe I've got one. The baffle is missing, and I think I've got one of those. The seat is in very good shape. So we'll just be cleaning that up. Hopefully we won't have to do anything except clean it. Like I said, the rear, yeah, this you can feel the rust on the rear wheel, so that will have to be replaced. And it's missing a spoke here. I think it's actually missing two, if I remember right. So we'll be doing a full lace on the back, and we'll probably have to get spokes there. I'm not sure whether I want to, $100 set of spokes, or 2 days cleaning up, polishing, replating spokes. I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably get new ones. I've done that before, and it's a lot of work to replate. So that's kind of where we're at on this thing. Got a little owie over here. Tank's really clean. I'll probably stick some de-rusting agent in there, some metal rescue, and just to make sure it's all cleaned out. But anyhow, we're going to start on the disassembly, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to disassemble a few parts, and we'll take a look at the ones we take off and see if we need to do anything with them. All right, let's just start here at the seat. And we'll get the seat and the tank off so we can expose some of the wiring. Looks like a really nice strap we have here. The Yamaha ones are usually gone already, as are the Suzuki. Let's see, let's pull the keepers and pins on the seat and get them around there. I may need a hammer to get that one out. Over here is where I can kind of, hopefully I can catch it. There we go. And I think this is all unhooked. It's just sitting on there. I'm sure we've got some wires or something under there. If you've been watching any of my videos, you kind of know that I'm not really a bolt and nut type restoration guy. We're more about function and getting things put back together. I don't hunt for a lot of NOS parts or anything like that. Hardware, I'm going to replace with normal hardware. If it's JIS, I replace with JIS if I can. But I've got sources where I don't have to buy from the manufacturer because their hardware is too expensive, and I would beg you to tell the difference of the stuff that I use versus the stuff that they use. Anyhow, I think I'm going to start up here on the front. And now that I've got exposed some wiring and stuff, maybe I can disconnect some of this stuff in kind of units. So we'll see. Okay, I think I've got all the connectors disconnected here. So we can just take this off as a unit. And you can tell we're going to be doing some sheathing and probably some new connectors. Some of these are looking pretty bad. A lot of the bullet connectors, the plastic hadn't survived very good, but all the sheathing is going to have to be replaced. That's normal. And we'll get our, oh boy, what do we got here? We got one of the correct screws. And the other one is a flat blade. That's scary. Alright. Yeah, somebody stuck a flat blade there. Hopefully it's not a US screw that's messed up the threads. More sheathing. More connectors. Oh goody, we've got another flat blade screw here on the throttle side. This one I think I kind of got to get out in order to get all this unhooked. Yeah, and it's looking like it probably come off of a lawnmower or something. It's even got a washer under it. Oh well, that's the kind of stuff we used to do. I'm guilty of it too. But there again, I've got one that's the correct screw there. And we've got the choke and everything's intact and it does work. However, it's probably going to need to be cleaned up a bit. So we'll see what we need to do there. I'm missing the lever perch on the other side. I think I found one, I'm not real sure. I have to look. Those seem to be very difficult to find. Yeah, we'll get this off here so we can get the throttle and choke all disconnected. And maybe I'll go ahead and show you the problem with the carburetor if I don't have to do too much there. Most of you that's been following the channel already have probably seen that video or two. And I'll put all these just like I always do, the ones that are similar. We got a lot of oil coming out of there. And that's injection oil. I wonder where that's coming from. Anyhow, I'll make a playlist on these just like I do all the similar things that I work on. I think I've got a new rubber for this and here also I was able to find. So see how loose this is? This is the issue here that we have. So looks like I've got a lot of oil. Let me get you down here where you can see. It's coming out of here. So is it running off of this? Looks like it might be running out of the carburetor there. Okay, let me get this sorted out. And looks like I need to change camera battery. Little special clips that Kawasaki uses on their throttle. I'm missing one, but I think I found one of those too, if I remember right. So I'll be able to go back with it instead of the wire that I had in there. Is not like second nature to me, so I'm kind of keeping track of, in this case, all the throttle parts and all the choke parts, so I can kind of help me getting that put back together like that. If I'm not sure of something or think I'll forget, I usually mark it and peg it separate. In this case, trying to get the cables out of there is kind of stiff. I have a new one, but I think I'll just try to heat it up with a heat gun and see if I can get them to pull through there instead of cutting them out. Even if I got a replacement for something, if it's still in pretty good shape, a lot of times these rubber parts can be helped along with a little heat, but you end up having to do it every time that you need to, like in this instance, pull those cables through. I got one through, but the other one, this piece seems to be catching on it a little bit, so I'm going to lube it up with a little Glide. It's kind of messy, but it sure helps sometimes in situations like that. Don't want to pull it too hard because it'll, the cable looks to be okay. I don't want to ruin the cable. Yeah, maybe a little more heat. Still having trouble. I've used heat, I've used Glide. It's just hanging up on that lip. So I'm going to try to get some tape on there. Pull it real tight and get it as hopefully good enough where it won't just slide up. And see if that's gonna, I'll put a little on it. And it's still not wanting to come up through there. Finally got that through there. Took heat, the tape, and some Glide, and finally came through without having to mess it up. All right, so we're still in good shape, I think. Kick her off here so we can get in and disconnect the oil cable. This doesn't look like the right bolt either. It says 8.8 on it, so at least it's metric. The cable disconnected there. And we just pull that through, so we should be able to get our cable off now. Got all three of them ready. Go ahead and get this tank out of there. That old hose is just hard as a rock. I'm glad I didn't put a lot of oil in it. It's still going to have a little bit of a mess. There we go. And I think we've got a couple bolts back here. Down here, and then one here at the back. Boot, air cleaner boot. It's kind of it's not the most pliable thing either. There we go. Start getting our engine bolts out. I gotta find a place that's not gonna get pinched. Oops, I've got one wire yet. Looks like I didn't get disconnected. Yep, I didn't disconnect the one coming from the engine. Let me see if I can get that done. All right. Engine out. Montana today, we're gonna melt a little snow, I think. We're just sick of it here. But what we're not sick of is messing with old motorcycles. So here we go. Quick connectors here. Got one on both sides of the battery. Good old Napa battery. But there's they've used a lot of this kind of stuff, and there's another one right there. Those things are not weatherproof, and they're just not a good connection. There's another one. They're just everywhere. I'm gonna have my work cut out for me trying to get this wiring all straightened out. I may be forced to make a new harness. These things always benefit from just a good cleanup, but you can almost never stop right there. You know, I got it all cleaned up, now I just as well paint it. And then you think, well, I'm not going to paint the gas tank or anything, but you make the frame look so good, then you've got to paint the tank and the fenders and all that stuff. It just works that way. Looks like we got a little rust here in the battery box. Probably have to make a new side. That's my guess. Looks like somebody cut it right here. Looks like cut with some kind of a saw. It's always the stuff like that I hate to see. Get the harness out. Like I say, this thing's looking pretty sad, so we probably may have to make a new one. And if you take a look at this, the coil's split right here. Now it was running, so I don't know, I may be able to repair that with some epoxy, but right now we're not going to worry about it. Stoplight switch. You say I had this luggage rack re-chromed. It was pretty sad when I got it. And I think that's all I'm going to have re-chromed on this, but you never know. Oh goody, we got a different sized one over here. See, we've got a cracked fender up here. So we'll be doing some TIG welding. Here. Looks like a little bit over here too. Yeah, just normal. Got a dent we're gonna have to take out. Got a lot of wax underneath it. This guy was into waxing. Handlebars actually, they're bent. I was gonna say, you don't find them very often that they're not. Let's see here. It's a different size. Okay. Boy, a lot of rust in them forks. This thing was laying under the eave of a house when I found it. Just sitting there with the rain and the snow melting on it. It looks like the forks got the blunt of it. Looks like that one's wanting to slide down there. Probably stop before it gets all the way out though. That sure helps. Well, we got a snap ring there. Wonder why they did that. Looks like it will readily come out though. All right, one side out. Turn loose. Okay, you Kawasaki guys, tell me why they put that snap ring on the forks. As you probably can tell, I haven't worked on too many Kawasaki's, so I may need just some help from you fellas and gals, and probably Kevin Bergeron. I'm probably gonna have to be on the phone with him quite often. These really feel rough. Bearings are going to have to be replaced. Bearings and races. And I'm sure that they're probably going to fall out unless these are not captive like, oh no, they're just like everybody else's. put that thing back on for a minute while I go get a magnet. Should have had that already. There they go. Well, they're going to need replaced anyway. Try to get as many as I can. Yep, I got my eye on it. All right, got all those. There's a handful still stuck up in there. That's good. See if I can snag them. Yep, got a whole mess of them that time. All right, that's all of them except for the ones I got on the floor. Looks like that's free. I really didn't expect it to be. Guess we need to get the shocks off. Well, that's just about it. Ain't much left of that tire, but it's original. All right, guys. Got a pile of parts. Now comes the fun. Cleaning everything up. Repairing things that need repaired. Still got a little ways to go on painting. You know, we've got a couple nice days here this week right now, today and tomorrow, and then it kind of cools off into the 30s again. So we're hoping we'll get rid of a lot of this snow and Summer hopefully is just around the corner and we can get back on some stuff, because I've got a lot of paint needs to be done. And I think what I may do is, well, I don't know yet. First thing I got to do is start cleaning parts up and doing things that I know I'm going to need to do, such as the wheel here. It's got a lot of rust on there that ain't going to come off, and the spokes are in pretty sad shape. Missing one or two. There's one there. One, I guess. And of course new tires and all that stuff. But this is going to be a new type adventure for me. I just haven't worked on that many Kawasaki's. And I've got this one, I got a 350 Bighorn I got to do too. So this one here, don't know how long it's going to take. I know by looking for some of the parts, they are hard to come up with. Okay, there you have it, guys. Good, I don't know, 2-3 hours worth of work. We got this all pulled down. Of course, there's a lot of little sub-assemblies need to still come apart. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I've actually, when I had this running, I thought it sounded kind of loose. I don't even know whether these can be bored. Anybody, wants to give up some information, let me know what's going on. I remember a lot of engines back in this time frame, the Bridgestones for sure, and I'm not sure about Kawasaki, whether they had chrome bores or not. If that's the case, I can't bore them, and I suppose you'd have to send them off, and I guess the fix now these days would be Nicosil. So I'm not sure. If anybody knows, drop me a line, let me know what to expect, and if there's any sources that I am unaware of as far as parts. I just do the traditional things. I look for OEM parts at, like Rocky Mountain or Partzilla, and I usually hit eBay and see if there's anything. But from what I was looking at here, there's not a whole lot out there in either place. Kawasaki's were a lot less manufactured, in smaller numbers than Suzuki, and for sure Yamaha and Honda and all those. There's a lot of parts left out there for those bikes, but I'm not seeing too much for these. So there'll be a lot of repair and make do type stuff. So anyhow, hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.